welcome to Universal Interiors. I'm Les Ingelstead, and today is a special day. I get to be outside in beautiful Detroit Lakes Park and just kind of celebrating everything that's going around here in this beautiful city that we live by and near. And I get an opportunity sometimes to ask people a little bit about what they're thinking about, what's kind of on their heart. And recently I've had a chat with a good friend, and a few of you actually have asked me to talk about or think about, maybe address. So I will try conquering those questions, or something close to those questions of conquering, while the big trucks go by. There, that's life, right? A lot of shuddering going on, yep, and a lot of shaking. And these days, sad to say, there is so much of it going on between people that we should love. But they become either offended by what we believe in, or they're offended by those out there and what they say. Tolerance, right? Who's got it? Who's got the winning ticket for that? I mean, I know people have told me for years, Les, just don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion. You know what? Those words are just words to me, because it's life lived out here, right? There is some really cool people in both fields, right? But there's a lot of sadness these days, especially. Just kind of seems like it's just getting heaped up, because I put on the name Christian. I put that name on because I want to live like Jesus. It means just that, to be like Christ. I am so far from that picture, but at the same time, what I'm doing is every day chewing a little bit more of what His Word is, because that's the stuff that needs to get in there. However you might want to face it, you need to chew on God's Word, because it's going to give you that peace that passes understanding. And whether you believe it or not, everything is addressed in God's Word. Everything. You know what? You might take just a little section of it and say, how intolerant are you Christians? You say you don't believe this. You can't love like this. I'm going to be like this. Whether it be a marriage problem or a preference in who you choose to spend life with. See? Politically correct, right? It's been going on forever. Honestly, it really has. What's the heart issue? That's what it needs to boil down. The intolerances that people face today are in the family for sure. The workplace, definitely. But out there in the world, we're bombarded all the time with media. How can they say we're the Christians when something goes bad? Actually, they should maybe take a look. They're operating major orphanages and the huge ideas that they come into flood zones or fires, or those that have been starving for years. I mean, people, missionaries, they give their lives. You see, they sacrifice. But those people aren't always the same people that go to the churches. And in that church building that you might have come in and out of, those people, none of them are going to look exactly the same. So I ask for forgiveness right now for me, in the words, if I have offended you or will offend you. But what I need to have us be challenged in these days is to be a tolerant person. That means whether you put anything like I do, the name Christ, on me, or not, and choose to say, I have no God but me. Because you always have a God. Whether you like it or not, you have a God. This world around us, it's a lot about us. It always has been, nothing new. It just isn't. A baby gets out of that first little time where he starts pouting and throwing his tantrum. Let's cool him down, let's keep him comfortable, let's make him happy. He now learns, if I make a lot of noise, people will come and calm me down, and I got some attention. Maybe that's why there's so much out there in the media, because the more noisemakers there are, the more they kind of pat their little back and say, oh, I see what you're saying. But those people that get all this attention right now in the media, they have some pretty huge scars they carry. You can't blame a president. You can't blame a local government. You can only do what you can do. And honestly, my Lord lived life on earth. And you know what at the time He did? He talked to those people that came on the kind of the critical judgment people, and they said, "You were talking with a woman? What? You're not supposed to do that. Don't you know what? She was a Samaritan." And Jesus looks at him like, "What?" You know why he did that? Because he looked with eyes of love. He didn't look what their tag was, what their name was, who they were from. Honestly, he says that in his word. Male, female, slave, free, all the same. There's so much that addresses these issues. Don't get stuck. Our world is so stuck. We have to look at what a person is trying to live out. Is he trying to live out joy? Is he trying to live out peace? Is he trying to live a kindness and a love and an unending charity? There's not many people that walk the walk, but years ago, back in our grandparents' days when things were simple and we didn't have the phone to look to make us either feel good about ourselves or to make us feel bad about ourselves or to get angry at somebody because they just said this. Oh, you know what? Before any of that was around, they had their neighbors. And you know what they did? They just shook their head, but still served them, served with them. It was part of their country living. Go next door to the farmer to raise that barn up. And when they did that, I bet there was plenty of people that didn't agree politically with their neighbor down the road. But guess what? They got over it. Because what were they doing? Trying to live out love. They were the simple law. Oh, do to others like you want done to yourself, right? How simple, how beautiful would that be? I'm not sure if I'm getting to the heart of this answer, but for me, I get pretty excited about it. Again, I am first to say I fail at this because my views don't agree or don't even lock sight with another's. I scratch my head, and how can you think like that? But I hope they know me enough or will know me enough to see, guess what? Mostly, she's a pretty good egg. She's got some pretty good fruit falling from you. If I have referred to once or twice, maybe 20 times in our years together sharing, I talk about the fruit of a person's life. It can't help but fall off us, right? That's Jesus talking. He said, you're going to know you by the fruit. It's as simple as that. Can a thorn bush put out good figs? No. You know what? You got to put in good things to give out good things. So if you're caught up in all the things that all the people do wrong in that group of people, you will miss out on so much joy. Next time, challenge yourself in a conversation that you're with those, as you're pointing fingers at, you know, those are Christians, or you know those are liberals, wherever it might be. Take a good look at your heart, because that's where it lies. You see, out of your heart, that's where your words are coming, okay? That's what you speak out. That's simply the truth, and that's also found in God's Word. It's not intimidating to open up His Word. Challenge you, a little book called Philippians. 4 little chapters, snuck it in there. The man who wrote it, inspired by God's Spirit, but he's writing from a prison. And you know what he talks about? Think on these things. Rejoice. Be content. Wow, tough stuff, huh? Yeah, that's some pretty hard to understand stuff. Okay, challenging everybody on that, including myself. Let's find a place of tolerance because we are loved. So we're created to love. Get over ourselves. Embrace ourselves a little bit more. We could do amazing things here on this earth in our beautiful area we call home. So next time you see somebody you might not quite agree with, give them a little half hug. Maybe you need to apologize, or maybe just look past and look into their heart like God does, because we're loved. That's simple, huh? Okay. Anyways, you just go out and make yourself have a great day, okay? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Lakes TV3, because this is an amazing place to get to share the words that come to my mind and my heart. Okay, make it a great week. See you next time.